Hello and welcome to the Crypto Jungle. My name is Baloo The Bear, and here on the channel we keep crypto simple. We look at the price in the context of volume using the Wyckoff method. If that is something that interests you, then why don't you hit the subscribe button? We stream every Monday and Friday at the market open and the market close. Just a little market update. Nothing really has changed. If you've been watching the channel for the last few weeks, we've been underneath this downward sloping line of resistance in Bitcoin. There's a lot of shakiness inside of the traditional markets, and there's a lack of demand overall in many of the high-risk asset markets. So we will update you on what we are seeing and what we are looking for moving forwards. And without any further ado, let's just dive right into it, taking a look at the king of all crypto. That is Bitcoin. So here is that downward sloping line of resistance that I am referring to here. As long as we are below it, we will remain below it. We need to maintain that bias that as long as we have this trend of lower highs and lower lows with a lack of demand, we are going to assume that we will continue that trend. Now, to me, this is a good thing because, you know, the market sentiment is really terrible right now. There's a lot of people that are thinking this is a long-term bear market, that this is in fact the end of cryptocurrency and we're going into a multi-year environment of no price appreciation. And there's a ton of money on the sidelines, and I'm going to pull up a chart later to show you how you can see the money on the sidelines, or how you can determine when there is a dominance of stable coins in the market, which is a good sign when we are looking for price appreciation, because it is dry powder for the demand. When the demand comes back in, there's plenty of funds on the sideline ready to deploy into the market once those signals arrive. There is something noteworthy. You know, we've been looking at this little area of volume here. It's a nice little blip in the volume. It's showing a lot of trading activity that is kind of going off of this general area of support back here, which is kind of the area of the previous breakout of the last accumulation. So it's definitely a noteworthy area to pay attention to. But again, the trend is working against us in the mindset of holding any sort of support level. So if we do break below that, especially if we break below this level right here, that will likely trigger a lot of stop losses. So if we do trade below 29,007, it'll probably trigger a lot of stop losses that have been choked up from the traders, as that's their line in the sand and they don't want to take any more downside. So hopefully that is not the case. Hopefully we do trade sideways from this area. Hopefully we get a bounce that breaks through this downward sloping line of resistance, and if we do, then it's looking really good. But as it stands right now, those signals have not presented themselves, so we need to assume that this will break. When will it break? We don't know. But let's take a look at traditional finance. Let's start off with the S&P. Just shitty structure, shitty break of trend here. You know, we were kind of slowing down the momentum, just an incredible rally off of the lows of the COVID shakeout. A really exuberant rally, probably fueled by a lot of the overinvesting and people spending time at home trying to, you know, figure out what they're going to do with their investments. How are they going to generate an income, as a lot of people lost their jobs and was given money from the government in the form of a stimulus check. They were trying to become a trader. So, you know, we had a lot of, you know, really good moves to the upside here, quite a bit of chop, and we are breaking structure to the downside. Not exactly ideal. What we would be looking for is probably a bearish test of the underside of this support. So do be on the lookout for that. We're on lower high watch for traditional markets. We do not want to see a rejection of that level. We want to see us overtake that level. So if we can overtake it, likely it will then be classified as a spring. We will get some nice price appreciation, and this will just be a mid-cycle consolidation before a move to the upside to higher levels. So that's what we're waiting for with the S&P. Let's go over and check out the NASDAQ. NASDAQ, you know, highly correlated with the crypto market, as it does represent kind of a risk-on index, and again, breaking that support line, below that support line. So we would be watching for that similar sort of structure to take place, as if we get a lower high below this line, we do need to get above it. If we get rejected from this level, it'll probably signal to the market that we're in for many months of downwards price action to reaccumulate accumulate, and likely, you know, we'd be looking at this general area, about a 30% correction. That's basically what we had off of the highs prior to the COVID shakeout, 30% correction. So, you know, given the right narratives, we can see that as well. Again, we need to see if this level holds, if we can trade sideways, if we can get back on top of that line of resistance, then everything is great and we will be heading to the upside. But we do have to be apprehensive and be watching out for that lower high. If we do start rallying in some of the indexes, if we do start rallying in crypto, obviously the narrative will take over that was the bottom, that was the low, and that we are ready to, you know, transition and continue the bull market. Until we get past the structure of the previous highs, we can't assume that that's going to be the case. So we do need to be on guard with a lower high. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for the traditional markets. Head back over to crypto, taking a look at some of our core assets here. Bitcoin, like I said, downward sloping line of resistance. Ethereum, kind of looking really shitty. Just lazy price action, very dumpy price action. You know, we had some nice, good rallies over to break the previous all-time high, and now we're just, you know, heading to the downside with a lot of momentum holding us in this general area. If you're an investor in Ethereum, our custom indicator, the alphanumerics indicator, is flashing a buy here on the 3-day. Typically speaking, anytime there is a 3-day flash on a high market cap crypto coin, it's signaling that we're getting close to the floor, if not at the floor. Obviously, nothing here is considered financial advice, and past performance does not indicate future results, but this is typically showing you the market conditions where the selling is over exuberant. So we can assume that there's not many sellers left, and we can see that with the tether dominance. So let me just go over here and pull up USDT.D. And this is tether dominance. So this is showing you a rally in tether. This is showing you that there are a lot of people, excuse me, hedging their bets into stables. There's a lot going on in Twitter talking about stablecoin yields, stablecoin strategies, bear market strategies, yada, yada, yada. Long story short, we have a lot of money sitting on the sidelines, which is great. We want to see money on the sidelines because it fuels the next rally. If we go over here and just zoom out a bit, I'm going to show you something that I think is quite interesting in regards to tether dominance. Let's pull it up on the 3-day. Okay, so basically the focus here is the RSI. I'm going to draw a few key areas here. There's a point right there. Point right there. These are all spikes in the RSI, indicating that the RSI is overbought, indicating that tether or stablecoins are overbought. This typically happens when we're in a fleeing scenario where everybody is dumping their coins, everybody is dumping their positions, and they're trying to hedge into safe, less volatile assets. But if we turn off the price candles for tether dominance and lay on the total market cap, actually turn that off and add the total market cap, we can see something very interesting with these areas where tether becomes overbought. So let's mark them down again. If we go to this overbought tether, we can see that that's the COVID shakeout. What resulted after was a rally. If we go over here, we can see tether was overbought. What resulted after was a rally. This was the lows of the DeFi summer. If we go back over here, we can see that it didn't quite peg the bottom. In fact, it was, you know, there was definitely some room to the downside. So this is, you know, it's just an indicator. It's just a clue. It's showing you, but it doesn't mean we're at a floor. But it's showing you that we were getting close to the turnaround. What happened was just a V-shaped recovery beyond that point and a rally. And we're currently sitting at that same level right here. Now, again, it doesn't mean that we have to bounce off of this level, but I'm just seeing a lot of hints. I'm seeing a lot of potential that we are at a, if not at a floor, close to a floor. Now, there are other things that need to go into consideration, most notably the demand in the equities markets. A lot of uncertainty right now. When there's uncertainty in the market, there's a lack of demand. There's just less willingness to deploy capital under these types of conditions. It's just natural human behavior. We want to see, you know, we want to get clarity. We want to get, you know, a clear path forwards before people decide to take that risk on position again and move forwards. So that might come with some of the clarity that we had from the Fed meeting. Long story short, nothing really changed. There is some concerns with the possible announcements coming pointed towards cryptocurrency coming from the White House, so that we're going to get some interesting narratives built around whatever they're planning to announce. It's supposed to come in February or something along those lines. Could it spark the rally? Could it spark the end? Only time will tell, but the clarity will eventually come, and the clarity will help with the direction as well. Okay, let's go over and take a look at it's not much really to take a look at here. Let's pull up some of the let's do some of these Metaverse plays. Gaming taking a bit of a hit. You know, I've been saying for a while, we've been kind of in this mania phase for play to earn, mania phase for Metaverse, anything gaming. We've just been in la la land, just at really over exuberant levels. So we're seeing the appropriate correction come into that. Star Atlas trending to the downside. Illuvium losing some key support. So looks like it wants to trend to the downside as well. Illuvium, I have no idea why it rallied so hard, probably just due to the staking incentives in their pool. But that is kind of coming to an end, and we are, trending to the downside with that. If I pull up, let's go with Star Atlas here. I'm going to change this over to Ron. We just got the Ronin wallets. The Ronin was just unlocked. If you were farming Ronin in your Axie Infinity wallet, those have been unlocked. So not surprisingly, we've seen a dump as this asset has discovered a price. It was up at around $4. It unlocked the wallet. There was a big pump, and then there was a big dump. So this one's definitely going to have to find a floor before it becomes appropriate for investment. But Metaverse is going to take a hit. I think it's going to continue to trend to the downside. Certainly not outperform Ethereum in these types of market conditions. Let's get Atlas back over there. Keep my charts the same. Chat seems to be a little quiet. Usually there's more stuff coming in. For whatever reason, we're not getting much engagement on Twitch. Whatever. Let me just make sure I'm live on YouTube here. Yeah, it's looking good. Okay. Chat's just quiet today. All right, we'll take a look at some of these layer 2s. So these are all Ethereum competitors. Again, same sort of story. Let's go ahead and take a look at Avalanche. Avalanche in a downtrend, underneath downward sloping line of resistance. Until we can get above this, the assumption is that we are below it. So until we can start to trade sideways, I do actually like these setups, because this is kind of a bump and run setup where you have this really established downtrend. You get a capitulation. You trade sideways from that point. Trade sideways from that point. And then as soon as you break through sideways, you get a little bit of bullish price action, and then you get that curling to the upside. So if I was a betting man on time, I would say that, we're looking at about probably 2 months before we really start kicking things off again, which is kind of unfortunate that it's going to take that long, but it could go quicker. Time is really hard to quantify in these markets, but I would assume that we're going to trade sideways while some regulatory clarity comes to the markets. So no demand as it stands right now at the beginning of Q1 of 2022. Have you looked at Sol yet, or Ray? No, I have not. We'll take a look at Gods, I guess. Again, Metaverse overheated. Probably not going to have anything bullish to say about Gods Unchained, but let's take a look. Why not? All right, let's turn that back on. Let's take total off. Yeah, I mean, it looks like absolute shit. It's going exactly where it deserves to go, which is down. Metaverse is really overheated. It is what it is. We're going to have to go into reaccumulation. This is actually really good for play to earn Metaverse plays. because it's really going to separate a lot of the garbage and shit and useless projects from the actual products that are literally providing you a product. There are just an insane amount of projects out there claiming to be play to earn, and it's pathetic. There's no game. Pegaxi is one of them that I'm, quite skeptical on the authenticity of that team, and quite skeptical on the ability for them to deliver a long-term product. There's a lot of charlatans in gaming right now, and we're seeing an unwinding of that, which I think is a good thing. Sorry to anybody who's, heavily exposed to this sector, but, it is what it is. This is doing exactly as I think it should be, and that's kind of reducing some of these valuations for games that don't have a product. Gods Unchained does have a product. It is one of the better ones. So once we kind of flush out all the noise, once we kind of flush out all the garbage, very good opportunity that this could head back into markup. But as it stands right now, certainly in a downtrend. Let's get a longer chart on this one. We'll check the wrapped Ethereum on this. Yeah, this one's kind of an inverse chart. Let's need a long chart. All right, well, we don't have a very long chart on the governance token. We can take a look at the token itself. Market cap $75 million, so not crazy high, but it's also not one of those games that's gotten incredibly popular. It's actually relatively new for a governance token, but what does the token do? That's my biggest question. When you're analyzing these ecosystems, you want to make sure that the token is actually used for something, that there's some demand built behind the token. Any thoughts on volume for the trend in the last hour for BTC? Yeah, for the last hours, we typically do longer term analysis and higher time frame stuff. So I'm certainly not looking at the hourly chart on BTC, but I don't know. Let's see what you're talking about. It's too much chop. You're trading against all the algos. You're trading against all of the bots when you're on those types of time frames. Good fucking luck. Really good fucking luck when you're on that time frame. Volume, I'm not seeing anything really out of the ordinary. This is just trading sideways with a slight bullish trend to the upside. Yeah, there's not really much that I can look at. Some selling, some buying. Just chop. Stay out of the small time frames. You don't really stand a chance, if I'm being perfectly honest. If you're going to do small time frames, go really small, have a large account, and do leverage of like 2 or 3x. And that's scalping, like CryptoFace, stuff like that. He's on the 3-minute, the 2-minute, the 5-minute, and he's scalping. He's trying to get like 0.5% out of the market on $1 million trade. If that's you, then hey. But if you have a small account looking for big wins, you got to be on big time frames. Catching up with the chat here. Gods Unchained is actually a good game. Played it a few months back. Stopped playing before they launched their token, though. That's unfortunate. It was a pretty good airdrop with that one. Only got the Immutable X airdrop, which was completely insane. Awesome. Really good. Sold 2,000 of that. Yeah, no, that's really good. Awesome. Cool. YFI. Okay, let's take a look at some of these. Link looks good if it gets over 16.5. All right, we got a request for Sol and Ray. May as well take a look at those assets. Let's take a look at Solana. Solana's kind of hit my floor. The market's kind of risk off right now, though, so you got to keep that in mind as well. But basically, I had targeted this area around $80, $80 to $60 was kind of my target range for Solana. We're down in this general area. If we can find support things are looking good. If we switch on the alphanumerics indicator, we're well below the averages. The averages are in bearish alignment. This to me is a good thing because it sets up the bullish play. So if you're sitting on cash, if you're waiting, I think, you know, there's a potential of further downside, which would be insane if we actually get Solana back down to $40 or $50. That would be incredible. I might just step in as a buyer regardless of the chart at those levels. But we're going to want to trade sideways for a little bit. We're going to want to change direction and head back to the upside and start crossing over some of these EMAs before we can get that momentum back into Solana. I said on previous streams, you know, there wasn't a lot holding us up below this level. If we broke below it, we'd probably see you at $80, and that's exactly where we ended up. So, you know, it could be considered a place to buy if you're more, you know, risk on of an investor, or if you're just long-term bullish on Solana. I think this is a good area to start DCAing in. Ray is kind of an interesting one because it's really, you know, when the bull market is in full force, then Ray makes a lot of sense because everybody's FOMOing into every single brand new shitcoin they can get their hands on. But when the bull market conditions are not on, you don't want to be in an asset like Ray. So we might find ourselves at a bottom here at around 250. We could begin to trade sideways in this type of environment. But a lot of the SAM coins, I think they're just, you know, they're deflated a little bit. We're in some of those areas that we could be considered a high value zone, but until we get the momentum, until we get some clarity in the market, I would not be taking trading positions at these levels. I'm not personally investing in Raydium. So for me, I wouldn't be touching it. I would be looking for that momentum to represent itself before getting in. But yeah. Chainlink. The coin that never goes. Went once, kicked off the bull market, and never really ran well again after that. Let's take a look here. Yeah, I think we covered this on previous stream. I was looking at this general area. We were kind of in no man's land. I said, if we go to the bottom of the channel, you'd be looking to accumulate. Chainlink's looking like it's taking the accumulation formation. So if you're really bullish on Chainlink, then you can accumulate. But until the momentum presents itself again, there's no reason to be rushing in. I think that we're weeks away before we see any sort of price action, bullish follow through of the price action of Chainlink. So nothing really to get too excited about, other than the fact that the overall formation is looking rather accumulative. But other than that, you know, we don't need to get too excited about Chainlink. If you have a Glassnode account, you feel like looking at some of the on-chain data. I don't have anything kind of prepped, but you know, the on-chain is fundamental analysis. Basically, the on-chain keeps telling us the same thing. People are accumulating. Wallets are stacking. We're not in an environment that would simulate a bear market. We are in an environment that is, you know, constantly pointing towards accumulation. That has nothing to do with the order book. That has nothing to do with the price action. That has nothing to do with the leverage traders. The price action is determined by the order book and what's happening with the DeFi pools. That being said, you know, a lot of wallets, a lot of large wallets, pretty much any scale, whether you're a whale or a shrimp or a crab, whatever, you know, they're all in peak accumulation. Peak accumulation does not mean number go up. It just means there's going to be a supply shock so that when the demand flips, when the order books flip and there's a lot of volume going through those order books, the high probability is a price advance and a markup period. So that's all the on-chain is really telling you right now. There's nothing truly actionable about the on-chain data. It's simply just telling you when wallets are accumulating and when wallets are distributing. And yeah. Do you like the CRO fundamentals? I mean, not really. Not in particular. It doesn't do much in its current form other than get you a credit card. It's designed to stake, you know, it's similar to FTT, I guess, in a lot of respects, and FTT does seem to do well, but it's just an exchange token. So Well, let's take a look at the chart. I mean, crypto.com, it's a very well marketed platform. It's probably going to flip Coinbase in popularity one day. But as it stands right now, you know, there's really nothing to it. There's nothing super fundamental other than getting a credit card, getting a crypto credit card. So found a floor, flashed a daily green diamond, which is showing you accumulation opportunity. That happened right at a potential floor. I don't think we're ready to just completely bounce off of this level just yet. So I would be watching to see where this rally takes us. We'll probably get rejected somewhere around the 44-cent mark, possibly consolidate around 40 cents to 45, maybe 40 cents to 50 cents, somewhere within that range, or potentially just 45 to 50 cents right back down to 33 cents. I think that would be the high probability for you know, trading sideways in that current form. Cronos chain, CRO is on the Cronos chain? I don't believe so. There could be some other stuff. Cronos. I don't even know what the Cronos chain is. Do they have a DEX now? CRO token has a DEX? I don't believe so. Drop a link. Actually, I don't know if you can drop a link. Okay, it's just going to bring me to the exchange. Yeah, if they have a DEX, I have yet to hear of it. But yeah, if they are going to switch the CRO token to be a gas token, now we've got demand. Now we've got a completely different thesis going behind that. But again, you know, downtrend is very strong. We're not going anytime soon. We might get, you know, we could rally from this point and get some bullish signals coming in. But as it stands right now, those bullish signals are not presenting themselves just yet. Volume pretty low. If we take a look at the volume here, you know, there's just not a lot of volume going through the order books. You need volume going through the order books to get these price appreciations. And there's just no volume in the market. Nothing there. What's going on with the Luna bloodbath? A lot of drama going towards Luna. You probably don't, if you're invested in Luna, look away, because my targets on Luna, they don't have to hit, but my targets on Luna are down at around 20 bucks for Luna is what I'm looking for. Where's my Luna chart? Whatever. So yeah, we got a pretty bearish sign here on the 3-day. We just got our bearish cross on Luna. The momentum's gone. So, you know, if we break this support level right here, if we break this support, it's not going to be good. And I would be honestly looking at around $20 for the price of Luna. Somewhere in this general range, you know, potentially even lower. A lot of drama going on with Luna right now. Luna had a hell of a rally, really good rally. From the bullish signal on Luna, you would have been looking at an all-time high percentage point of 1,000%, currently down. Currently down about 50%. So a lot of crypto's down at that 50%. I'm not saying that we have to go down to 20, but if we do, I'm certainly going to be a buyer regardless of what the price is saying, because I do think Luna does have some good fundamentals behind it. But that being said, the trend is very bearish. We have a lot of momentum to the downside. We've got very low volume in the exchanges. So when there's low volume and bearish price action, it's just going to tick to the downside until we get high volume selling, which will be that capitulation event where whales step in and start buying again. Take a look at Matic. Matic still kind of chopping around. We got a bearish signal on the 3-day, so momentum certainly slow. Ooh, moderate volume, but again, nothing really noteworthy. We're below our key support. We lost our key support, so likely we're going in for a bearish test and potentially heading back down to $1. Not meaning to sound this bearish. I'm still bullish on the market cycle overall, but I'm anticipating that we have some weeks ahead of us, probably, weeks to months ahead of us of accumulation, unless there's some sort of narrative that builds that really brings the demand back to the market. The thing is just the demand. There's no demand in the market right now. So we don't have that volume going through the order book. We can't have high price appreciation. So the best you can do right now is accumulate, sit in cash, wait for the signals. That's all you can really do. YFI. Choppy mess, looks quite distributional. Don't like it. No bueno. Yeah, it's just Chop City on Yearn. There's no conviction one way or the other. And given its overall structure, and there's just a slight kind of rounding to it. It's not super pronounced, but we are kind of heading into that kind of distribution look of this consolidation. It's not ideal. Let's go to a longer chart on YFI. Come on, we got longer than that, don't we? We don't. Give me a long chart. KuCoin? No, I think it was a Binance coin. Yeah, it's a shitty chart. It's a shitty chart. Not worth getting too involved with YFI, in my opinion. Axie opinion. Axie has a lot of potential, but while we're waiting for this potential to take place, it's just bearish price action. So the price of SLP, I've actually got, the price of AXS in a decline. That will remain the case as long as we're below this downward sloping line of resistance. Volume is beginning to come in, but still relatively flat. So we lost our last floor. We would be looking for a floor to pop back in at around possibly $15 to $25 would be the next area to watch for it to hold. It could very well turn at this area. We're getting a lot of buy signals on the daily. Do we have some buy signals on the 3-day? Yeah, we got our first buy signal for the investor, just showing you that it's incredibly oversold. So we're getting these green diamonds begin to appear on the 3-day. But yeah, I could see this absolutely coming back down to $25, which to me makes a lot of sense in regards to breeding. If Axie is ever going to head back up in price, if we're ever going to see SLP back at that 10, 15, 20 cent, 25 cent mark, we're going to need to incentivize breeding, and the price of AXS is just too expensive. It's way too expensive, so we need to incentivize the breeding. I don't know what the team has to try and incentivize that, but the breeding is really, really low right now. So the breeding mechanism is the way that you burn SLP. If they can introduce new mechanisms to burn SLP, that would be fantastic, but we haven't seen that arise yet. We're waiting for the Battles V3 to launch. I'm sure that there's a lot coming down the pipe in terms of burning the SLP, but as it stands right now, SLP is just a grind to the downside, down to a penny now for SLP. Quite a substantial move down, considering that the all-time highs were above 40 cents. 40 cents. That's, 40 cents was a living, a penny. That's a grind. That is a grind. What is the name of the indicator with the green diamonds? It is called the Alpha Numerics indicator. It is a paid indicator. You do get it with the group as it stands right now. That model will probably be changing, so we will be transitioning away from that indicator, just coming with your membership to the Crypto Jungle, as the creator is wanting to better monetize his fabulous strategy. Really, really good indicator. It's if you follow the indicator thus far, I think if you started following it from its inception in 2021, if you put 1 Bitcoin in it, you'd have 2.2 Bitcoin. So, it definitely keeps up with the market, and we're going to start pushing it a little harder here because, Wyckoff has its place in the depths of the bear market. I just don't see us being in those types of conditions where Wyckoff really shines. So we're going to transition to more of these momentum style strategies. And yeah, it's alphanumerics indicator. Snipe levels for FTM. I can't tell you snipe levels. You know that. I'm no fucking charlatan. I'm not going to try and sit here and tell you I know exactly where the floor is on anything. It's anybody that tells you that they know where the floor is lying to you. They are lying to you. And YouTube is filled with them. Filled to the brim with just people fucking lying to you all the time. There is no snipe. FTM, honestly, it's got one of the best ratios of total value locked versus market cap, but the chart looks like we're going to trade sideways at best. If not, I think we're actually heading down with Phantom. We would be looking back down at here at around $1.35, $1.50 potentially for Phantom before it starts to look good again. There's nothing fantastic about the chart. It is what it is. The only saving grace of this chart is its fundamentals in how the ratio of total value locked on the chain is very close to the market cap. That's the only saving grace, and that's it. What about the Arizona news? I'll believe it when I see it. So for those who don't know, Arizona is proposing to accept Bitcoin as a legal tender. I'll believe it when I see it. It can definitely start to spark off a bullish narrative. There's a lot of unease as to what President Biden wants to do as far as an executive order pointed towards cryptocurrency. We'll see what happens with that. Maybe this is the time where they launch their CBDC, their central bank digital currencies. Maybe they outlaw the use of stablecoins for US citizens. I don't know what's coming down the pipe, but yeah, I think we're going to get some clarity one way or another, and clarity is good for markets. Any thoughts on IOTX? IOTX. Other than it's a shitcoin that nobody cares about. It's right back down to where it took off. Fuck. You know, you buy the breakout and you gave it all back. I'm not saying you did. I'm just, you know, the structure. It's like, fuck, you bought the breakout and you just gave it all right back. Shitty. Abysmal volume. There's no bullish narrative going behind this coin as it stands right now. We're at that area of support. We can sit on top of support, but there's no momentum. There's no momentum here. The momentum is a slow grind down, losing value every day. Can't get any links to Cronos across, but following Cronos swap, you will get there. Cronos swap. Too much bullshit. Cronos swap. Krona. Growing network for DeFi apps. Looks like it runs on Krona, not CRO. What kind of apps do they got? Oh, it is CRO. Interesting. Okay. So something's cooking with CRO. This is a good move. All right, well, that's cool. This is a good move on CRO's part. You know, they're starting to build out that bridge between the centralized to decentralized exchange. Let's see what the farm is doing. Corona CRO. So it'll be, I don't know if CRO is the gas. If it is, that's a very bullish thing. Okay, so thank you for bringing that to my attention because I had no idea. That is a very good thing if CRO becomes a utility token, a fuel for the network. Very good. Very good. I love anything that, you know, when I'm analyzing demand, if you're forced to buy something regardless of investment decision, that's a consumable, that's a commodity, that has intrinsic demand in it. So that's good. That's very good. And some pretty high yielding pools here as well. USDC, USDT. Ooh, that's nice. No impermanent loss, 11% APR. 14% APR, no impermanent loss. That's very good. DAI USDC, 14% APR, no impermanent loss. Excuse me. It's EVM compatible. Let's use MetaMask and all the gadgets everyone knows. Yes, CRO is the gas. Awesome, good find. Thank you. That's a very different scenario from what I was saying before. Before it was just all about the credit card, which nobody really cares. But gas token, big deal. That's a big deal, especially if you know, people start using it. If the dApps, you know, get user adoption, very, very good. So keep an eye on this one. We're already showing a little bit of bullishness, so I wonder how new it is. The volume's still really low. No reason to get too excited. Let's see what the line chart is telling us. Thanks for that. This is what's great, you know. So many eyes on the market. So we are breaking out of that level, wanting to flash a bullish signal. Wanting to flash a bullish signal. Yeah, this could be good. We'll keep an eye on that one. That's a good one. Nice call. Nice call. Maybe we get something like this. Get a little bit of a breakout, rejection at the EMAs. Come back down, trade sideways for a little bit, cool things off, and then start ticking to the upside with a break. Break above that line. That's your buy signal. I don't think there's any urgency, so, you know, everybody just chill. I really don't think there's any urgency with this one. But definitely a change in the mechanics here, a change in the demand, a change in the thesis. Very good. Thoughts on city coins like Maya and New York City? Probably a bunch of bullshit. I mean, it kind of, like, what is it for? What does it do? What the fuck does it do? And is it bullshit? Like, is New York City actually doing this? A fork of Doge. Ay, ay, ay. This is some cheap ass bullshit right here. Look at the graphics. Look at how cheap it is. This is as low res as you can get. Official New York coin development. Ugh. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't believe it. I do not believe it. Certainly don't think it has anything to do with New York at all. And it's not even new. Wow, it's from the previous cycle. Oh yeah, this is, you know, we've heard nothing about this in years. We've heard nothing about it. And we will continue to hear nothing about it, in my opinion. Miami coin. Start mining Miami coin. City coins are powered by Stacks, a protocol that enables smart contracts on the Bitcoin network. Stacks is a good play. I like Stacks. This just seems like a bunch of bullshit to me. You know, surface level assessment. At least this website has their shit together. But let's take a look at Stacks, actually. Oof. Ugly. Ugly little drawdown here. But I think the fundamentals of Stacks are nice because I haven't really dove deep into how they use the Bitcoin network to secure. But, you know, you can buy Bitcoin NFTs using the Stacks network. I need to do a little bit more research on the demand for Stacks and how are they actually securing using the Bitcoin network. But I think Stacks is a better play. I don't have confidence in the other one. This one just, I don't know. It feels like bullshit to me. New York token. Oh, it's a different one. NYC coin. So it's a different New York token. I don't know. What does it do? Like, why do you need it? So you have a coin when you're in New York? The whole point is we're trying to make a global currency, right? We're a globalized world. We should have a global currency. Why would we want to segment it even further to have a Miami currency, a New York currency? To me, that makes zero sense. So, you know, the utility of this could be that you can use New York tokens to pay your hydro bill, your electric bill, or, you know, you could pay your parking tickets or something like that. But honestly, I think that this is just a crock of shit. Surface level assessment is, I think it is a crock of shit. What do you think about the fundamentals of Hex? Oof. Oof. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to show you a few things about Hex. Go to Etherscan. Hex is, you know, effectively a Ponzi. There aren't too many structures out there, like too many cryptocurrency structures that I would label that. I feel that that kind of gets thrown around a lot, and even calling it a Ponzi, I'm still kind of hesitant to call it a Ponzi. But it does some very interesting things that manipulate price, okay? So if we go over to the contract, you can see some of these stake contracts, these stake transactions. So this is a stake end, or let's go to a stake. Stake start right here. Okay. Basically what happens when you stake. Oh, they don't even show it anymore. Oh, this one's pending, that's why. Okay. Oh, we need something that's not pending. Why is everything pending? Everything's pending on Hex right now? That's weird. That's fucking weird. Everything on Hex is pending. That's very strange. Okay, well, what I was trying to show you is the fact that when you stake Hex, you aren't staking Hex, you're burning Hex. It's removed from the supply. This affects the bonding curve. What effectively happens is if you have, you know, $100 and you put it into Hex, if you have $100 and you buy Hex, you get $100 worth of price action, okay? But then if you take that Hex, that $100 worth of Hex, and you stake it, you get a further $100 worth of price action because you're manipulating the bonding curve. Not only are you buying off the bonding curve, but you're also removing. So for every $100, there's $200 worth of price action, which makes Hex moon when things are great. It makes it moon, it makes it go up, and everybody gets really, really excited. But the inverse is also true. So when people unstake, it mints, it manipulates the price. And then if they sell, you get twice as much selling pressure. So effectively what happens is if you're in this long enough so that, you know, the early adopters are the ones that are incredibly wealthy with Hex. Like you go to the holders, they're just multi-millionaires. It's obscene how many millionaires Hex has made. But those people are sitting on large sums of money and they will dump eventually. You know, eventually people have enough money. And the loaded gun on Hex is massive. There is so much liquidity that can exit that protocol with 2 times the price action. It's not for me. It's just not for me. I don't know how long this game can go on. It's been going on for much longer than I thought. So, you know, there's that. But I don't know how long this game can go. It's fun. It doesn't do anything either, right? Like it's the only purpose of Hex is to stake it. It doesn't have any utility. Fucking Pulse Chain makes absolutely no sense. It's just a carbon copy of the Ethereum network. It's not a fan. I'm really, really not a fan. There's too many sketchy things about it. In your opinion, what is the BitConnect of this cycle? Just curious. Well, I'm pretty sure I just explained what I think is the BitConnect of this cycle. The unraveling has yet to occur. There's also VVS Finance backed by crypto, started with 20,000% APY. Did MIM lose its peg? Yep, it lost it momentarily. So the whole peg thing, like, all stables lose their peg all the time. It creates arbitrage opportunities. So bots are scanning the blockchain constantly for arbitrage opportunities, and they correct the pools. So if USDC trades at a premium and BUSD trades at a discount, the bots see it and they do flash loans and they arb it back to peg, okay? These things can lose peg all the time. The risk with MIM is that if MIM loses peg, which it did, if it loses peg enough, it actually liquidates a lot of these degen smart contract pools that they have. You know, these looping pools where you can get like 65% APY on stablecoins. If it loses peg in those conditions, it liquidates those contracts. So it's really bad for MIM to lose peg by a lot. But as you can see, in its entire existence, you know, it's only ever gone down to 97 cents on the dollar. So it's, you know, it's supposed to trade around $1. It trades at a premium of $1, and it's gone down to, you know, $1.97. So currently it's at $1.98. So yeah, it's lost its peg, I guess you could say, but you know, the arbitrage will bring it back up to peg. It's just, it liquidates a lot of people that were doing that looping strategy on Abracadabra. Looks like Wonderland might be our BitConnect. I don't think so. I don't think so. Lots of people freaking out about that one. Lots of drama. I've actually never been more tempted to buy time. I've been saying, you know, Ohm's been the play, Ohm's the play, yeah, as far as these DAOs, these high yielding DAOs. And I just didn't see the value of time. But now time is just so undervalued. It makes me want to buy it. Everybody's freaking the fuck out about time. That just makes me greedy. I want to buy it. But I'm going to wait. I'm going to see how things pan out, because we could get some further downside. There's still a very high amount of inflation on Wonderland. Everybody thinks the APY is what you get. No, the APY is the inflation rate. I'm actually much more bullish on Olympus now, because they're dropping their APY to around 750% a year. That's much more sustainable. It's easy for demand to overtake 350% a year. It's hard for demand to overtake, you know, 20,000% a year, 30,000% a year. Like, you need a ton of demand to overtake that inflation. Ohm is dropping considerably. So, you know, they're the ones that are going to have less sell pressure attached to them as a result of their, you know, their insane APY. I'm still a big fan of Olympus. This isn't loading, so I'm going to give up. Metis. This is one that I was watching for a while, and then I stopped watching it, and it fucking mooned on me. I was watching Metis down here, and I'm like, oh yeah, if it gets above there, I'm going to take a position. And then all of a sudden, it was up here, and I was so pissed off that I missed it. But it's, you know, it did a really hard, really fast rally. It's going to come down. It's getting a bearish cross. It's got a lot of momentum to the downside. I'm thinking it comes back down to reality. This is on the ETH pair, by the way. So, you know, I'm looking for it to come back down to 0.25 ETH per Metis. So that would be what would that be in dollars? $63 current valuations. That's what I want to see. And then I'll play with it. It looks like a lot of these side chains, you know, there's a lot of TVL heading in their direction. I'm really interested in the fact that CRO has this now. So thank you again. Whoever got that, SJ, thank you again for bringing that to our attention. How about those Sunday swap airdrops? Don't even give a fuck. Don't give a fuck about anything Cardano, because it doesn't work. Till it works, it doesn't work. I don't give a fuck. They got to do something. So they're airdropping to keep people happy. Good morning, Patty. All right, well, that is all the time I got for today. I've already gone over here. So I got to head out into the virtual classroom. If you guys want to join the virtual classroom, if you want to join the Discord community, the private VIP server, go ahead and sign up. We have free 30-day trial for anybody who does not already have an FTX account. Sign up for FTX. That's it. You just got to sign up for FTX. You don't have to do much more after that. And we'll give you a 30-day trial. If you already have it, go check out thecryptojungle.com and sign up for the monthly package. And we will see you in the virtual classroom. That is all the time I got for today. If you enjoyed this content, please leave it a like. Don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, please trade safe.